You have found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we're going to be previewing the Bulls versus the Knicks game, and there are a lot of Bulls who have apparently found their way into trade rumors. We're going to break that all down, debunk some of those right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. Pat, the Bulls have a chance at a second revenge game in a row, which is probably why they may not get it. But with that being said, what do you expect to see from the Chicago Bulls team against the New York Knicks? We already do know that we are going to be missing Javonte and DJJ as they're both out in this game. But Caruso's out as well. So we're going to come into this game at a bit of a deficit as far as the health aspect of it. How do you expect the Bulls to perform in this game?
Yeah, we got a real deficit, right? Dragic out as well already on the injury report.
Oh, really? I thought it was questionable.
I got Dragic out. I got Caruso day to day, but the injury reports be varying, bro, based on however somebody feeling. Real talk.
Yeah. So, but this one that I'm looking from Chuck Swirsky was tweeted about 20 minutes ago. It says,
okay,
Caruso
yours probably
out,
more updated.
Caruso out, Jones out, Green doubtful, and Dragic probable.
Okay, yours is probably more updated, so we'll go with that one there. Okay. Which is good because I had Dragic out. So no, I think the thing is we need to see some changes in this game, bro. Like I think the Bulls have the ability to win this game, right? Like first game versus the Knicks was very close, but what we see in both games that the Bulls just got dominated in. Mm-hmm. The rebounding battle. You got Vooch down there, you got Drummond down there, right? One game we barely used Drummond, and I think there just needs to, like, I know there's such an apprehension from Billy Donovan to go Vooch and Drummond on the court at the same time because of how terrible the spacing would be and how slow that lineup would be. But, dog, like, it's that or you're just going to see Mitchell Robinson grab every single rebound all night long, right? And I think that's the part that puts the Bulls at the biggest disadvantage. Now, it would also help if you could get RJ Barrett to kind of just stay at his 3-point percentage. And luckily for the Bulls, Grimes will be missing that game with the Knicks. He's listed as out with an ankle, at least on the injury report that I have here, which is good because he's that player that we're like, who's the dude that doesn't do that much that's going to torch us? Yeah, it's him. It was him. So they'll probably find another one, right? They'll bring some dude off of the bench. It'll be like, I don't know, Quickly or something like that. Just cook us all night. But no, I think the Bulls have an opportunity to get this win, but I think it's going to be hard if they don't compete better in the rebounding battle.
Well, the thing is that bodes well for the Chicago Bulls is that historically Vooch averages 22, 10.5, and 3.8 assists versus Mitchell Robinson. Last game was an albatross when it comes to Nikola Vucevic's performance. I know you said play Drummond with him, but Vooch absolutely can win the rebounding battle against Mitchell Robinson. He's actually won out of 12 matchups. He's rebounded Mitchell Robinson in all but 2 games. So he has the opportunity to do.
It's the pairing, though. It's the pairing, though. Randall's averaging 9 rebounds this season.
That's true, but like Randall isn't. It's not just because the Bulls can rebound as a team. We've seen it. We've seen that done before, and especially if Patrick. I think the key in this is not necessarily can Vooch out rebound Mitchell Robinson because he can. It's that if Patrick Williams can hit his shots and force Randall to come out to the perimeter and guard him, it frees up a lot of things there.
I do agree with that. I think P. Will's going to be big in this. I think the big thing too. How many times do we just see that switch? Like what? Stop switching that. Hey, please, on the defensive end, let's stop that switch, bro. The switch to put like Caruso on Randall and it gets P. Will off of him, where P. Will has done an excellent job when playing Julius Randle this season.
Yeah.
And
back to last season.
Yeah.
The thing that concerns me, well, not concerns, but they have to watch out for is the switching of DeMar DeRozan. There are way too many times where DeMar DeRozan ended up on players much bigger than him, and regardless of how good he is or not defensively, you just don't want to do that. That's not going to do something well for you unless it is a player that just is not a scoring factor. So the Bulls have to look out for that. This is a game in which I do think, to your point, switching is not going to work in the Bulls' advantage. A lot of times switching works for teams' advantages. Especially it may not work for the Bulls' advantage. They may have going on the screen as well. They may have to try to guard these players straight up as possible as they can to find some success in this game.
Or even listen, just an understanding of the zone that you're in, and you can't fall asleep on your assignments, right? I think the Bulls I think the Bulls defensively did some good things. They ran a little bit of box and one versus Atlanta. They ran a little 2-3 versus Atlanta. I think they did some good things in the zone game, right? You can't go 100% on the zone, but I think they did some good things in the zone game. So you kind of have to you have to play with it and go back and forth for sure. But I think the thing is, right, like just KYP, like Stacey King always says, right? Like, what do we know about Julius Randle in this game? It should be the easiest thing to guard. He's going left. He's going left. Ringo, where you at? Left. Left. Left.
Bro, if we took a shot for every time Julius Randle went right, we'd be very sober at the end of the game.
Julius Randle had to be a military kid, bro.
Wait,
left,
hold on. I can't.
Left,
no,
left.
That's not how it works, bro. I'm a military kid. We will not do military kid slander here, brother.
I don't know if it was slander. I just said y'all go left a lot.
No.
You've been on this show. You go left a lot.
Whoa. Bro, I don't know. Lately, you've been going left a lot. Like, I've been sitting back watching you cook lately. You've been going off lately,
I've been going left sometimes. Hey, listen, it's only when DeMar DeRozan single-handedly destroys our offense. Oh, by the way, hey, let's not do that. By the way, if we're gonna do anything going into this New York, getting back on it, if we're gonna do anything going into this game, let's keep the ball movement going. I'm not saying you can only run the offense. There's no room for one-on-one. That's not NBA. It's not NBA basketball. It's not modern NBA. If you want to see that, go watch college ball, where they literally have a coach saying, "Run this set every single time down the court." But realize if the shot's not falling, let's not single-handedly just destroy the offense that is running. Now, I will say this. A little bit of an advantage here is we might see DeMar do a little one-on-one, and if it is working, I can live with it because Grimes did a really good job switching between Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan defensively, especially with RJ Barrett out there, right? Like, so now RJ is going to have to shoulder a little bit more of the load. You might be able to get a little bit more offense going in that one-on-one situation with DeMar and or Zach.
That's fair. I mean, one-on-one isolation basketball has its place, right? None of us have ever said here the Bulls should not do any isolation. No, it has its place, absolutely. You just have to use it in conjunction with good ball movement, getting the team involved. There are times where isolation ball is needed. They just have to find a better balance between that, and I think they're getting to that place of finding that better balance between there, and they're going to need it against a team that has kicked them in the mouth 2 times in a row. Like, they're going to need it.
Yeah.
And then especially with Alex Caruso being out for sure in this game, guarding Brunson and keeping Brunson from being able to get in a good rhythm, whether it be shooting or whether it be his passing, getting other players in rhythm. They have to find a way to disrupt what Jalen Brunson does. And I'm hoping, I would assume, coming off of hitting the game winner, is that he is going to have some high confidence and come in and be able to be that Nigerian nightmare on the defensive end that we got so used to seeing.
Nigerian nightmare. Was that the nickname we coining? What I would assume out here, the Nigerian nightmare.
You never heard that before?
I've never heard that one, bro.
You know what it is?
Who dropped Nigerian nightmare?
Stacey King. It's because you live call games, so I don't think you always get to hear.
I don't get to hear
broadcast. Yeah.
I don't get to hear it, and when I do, I go back and I'm like rewatching to be like, did I really see them do this? So I do love hearing Stacey. I usually rewatch most of the games, but it's not as it's kind of sad actually. Live calling the games, I don't just get to be as much of a fan as I once did. Like I used to just love sitting there and be like, I don't know what Stacey's talking about, but this is great.
Nigerian nightmare.
Nigerian nightmare, bro. That's the one we rolling with. I like it. Let me ask you this, right? If on both sides, if we see this game play out, Bulls get a win, what's your feeling? Bulls get a loss, what's your feeling?
I mean, the thing is, like I said before, I don't expect the Bulls to win if they lose against the Knicks, because I know how the Knicks match up, and every team
Knicks
has
match
teams
up really well against.
Just like we match up well against Boston. I don't think anybody would say that Boston is not a better team than the Chicago Bulls. We just match up really well against Boston.
Yeah.
We always have. If we do lose to the Knicks, it depends on how we lose. If we fight and show some heart, I'm not disheartened by that. But what I've been saying for a while, and I'm going to stick to, is that this Bulls team needs to go on one of those stretches where it is like we won 7 out of our last 10. Can we get something like that? That's what I want to see. You're going to lose or drop a game along the way. It doesn't really change my opinion, but how they bounce back. And then if they do lose against the Knicks, I know you said that game against Houston could be hard, and it very well could be. It's the NBA. Any game could be.
Sengun been cooking, bro. Literally,
bro,
I watched that game that night, bro. I was
we still need to beat Houston. So I'm saying this. I don't want the Bulls to go back to splitting their out of their 1-2 in a row. The next two out of these 4 games, I need them to be 3-1. Whichever game the loss comes in, I need them to be 3-1 going into facing Milwaukee. That's what I need from this team.
And that's why I said, right, for me, I need to see not only just us going a streak, but us get a significant foothold above 500 before I start feeling all of a sudden confident.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because, right, like I always think back, like it's like every team goes on a run. Almost that, like you have to be a really, really god awful team to at no point in the season go on a nice stretch of basketball. And I don't think the Bulls are just god awful. I think they're playing some subpar basketball right now. But I don't think they're god awful. I mean, think about it, right? Like we could have been in the contention for Luka. Instead, we had Lowry because Nico Mirotic and Bobby Portis started cooking when he came back from getting his face broken in December.
Is that the same draft?
Lowry and Luka? Yeah, I think so. Lowry and Luka, same draft. Because I remember being like, while I like Lowry, Luka would have been nice.
Yeah, that's franchise changing right there. That's a completely.
I love Lowry. I always think my favorite thing.
Oh no, they weren't in the same draft, bro.
Who do we have that draft? Was that Kobe?
That would have been the Kobe draft.
That's the Kobe draft. Okay, that's even worse.
That's still
that one hurts even worse.
That's crazy. That's wild, bro. That's
PTSD.
Bulls fan PTSD strikes again, bro. Strikes again. All right, moving on though. Before we get into the next topic, which we're going to talk about all these Bulls players that have wound up in trade rumors. Is it valid? Is it not? I got to talk to you guys with this message from NHTSA. Did you know that driving high is considered driving under the influence? That's right. Driving under the influence of marijuana is against the law in every state, even in states where marijuana is legal. That means driving high could get you a DUI. And if you think law enforcement officers can't tell when you're driving high, you're wrong. Your friends can tell, your coworkers can tell, even your parents can tell. Everyone can tell. So what makes you think that the law enforcement officers don't know when you're driving high? Driving under the influence of marijuana can slow your response time and change how you perceive time and speed. So even if you think you're fine to drive when you're high, you're not. Because the bottom line is, if you feel different, you drive different. If you drive high, it's driving under the influence. So remember, drive high, get a DUI, paid for by NHTSA.
I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. For your second listen, make sure to check out Locked On Sports Today for the biggest stories around the sports world in 20 minutes or less. Plus, instant reaction, game recaps, and Locked On's Take of the Day. Locked On Sports Today available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. And it looks like the Luka Doncic draft is actually the Wendell Carter draft, just to correct us.
God, that's even worse. We could have had MPJ. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
It literally got worse every name we said.
Moving on from that, though, bro. So we got some recent trade rumors concerning Chicago Bulls players. So in the same article as the Sean Devaney article, Alex Caruso, it was reported that up to 15 GMs are interested in trading for Caruso if he becomes available. Also said that there's a random NBA exec that believes that Zach LaVine may be trying to force his way to the Lakers. I'm telling y'all right now, that rumor is bullcrap. Don't believe that rumor. And then we got something that came out later on today that said DeMar DeRozan may request a trade in the offseason if things don't improve for the Chicago Bulls. Pat, gonna throw it to you on this one. Do you believe any of these rumors out of the three we just named?
So I will let DeMar do the speaking on this because DeMar posted this to his Instagram 1 hour ago. Basically, what it seems in reference to the article.
All right, I'll tell you a story. This is a newspaper, right? It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it.
So that is on DeMar DeRozan.
Shout out to DeMar DeRozan for that clip. That's a hell of a clip there. And this is what I always say to people. Sean Devaney specifically is one of the worst hacks as far as a writer when it comes to these speculations. Nothing comes true. But outside of that, anytime it's
hack is harsh.
Anytime, no, he's a hack. I don't care what nobody like. Jamal from Bull Central called Joe Cowley a hack the other day, and I almost fell out my seat. The fact that Jamal is so laid back and he called somebody a hack, I was like, okay, there. But with that being said, anytime it's a random NBA exec, that means nothing. That literally could mean the secretary that files paperwork to the NBA league offices from teams could have got called by Sean Devaney. He was like, "Hey man, Sean, I'm sorry, man. What do you think about the Chicago Bulls?" You'd be like, "I don't know. Maybe Zach just wants to play in LA." And he hangs up the phone. It's like, random NBA exec says that Zach LaVine may be forcing his way to LA. That's how that goes.
I won't go as far as hack, right? Because
he's a hack. I'm going on record. He's a hack.
I enjoy Sean Devaney. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy
his writing too. When it's not about speculation or movement, that's where I draw the line.
We got to be specific on it. Then we got to be specific because hack is the whole career, right? Like Joe Cowley, he be writing some stuff. But he be there. He be right sometimes too. Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. But here's the thing. Here's the thing for me, right? You beef with me, you beef forever. That's what we are. Here's the thing for me, right? Like, it's so blown up after we heard an argument. And the thing that I say is, do you think that they just never are? Did y'all think they just left locker rooms and just hugged each other at the end of every game? Like, have y'all played sport? That's the one thing I always ask. Have you ever played sports, bro?
The answer is
I've almost gotten into fist fights with some of my best friends debating something that happened on the court that we playing on.
Bro, but I tell you this, it's not even sports. Play dominoes with your closest relative.
Well, that's a different sport. That's a different sport, bro.
Play dominoes with your closest
Ain't no
relative.
family in bones, bro. Ain't no family in bones. I take your head off. But I think the thing is, right, like we're taking this to the top degree, right? Like, oh my God, they hate each other. They are sick of it. Like, they're friends off the court, but on the court, they can't stand each other. Now, what I will say was the Vooch and Zach walk-off was a little rough, right? It looked like, here we go again. I don't know if y'all saw that at the end of it, before Io tips it in, right as DeMar shoots it, you just see Vooch and Zach walking to the bench like, yeah, that ain't going in. Here we go. But the thing that I will say is this, right? Like, teammates fight, teammates have argument, teammates go at it in practice, teammates go at it in the locker room. One of my favorite clips of all time is, now granted, different caliber of players, but the Boston Celtics, when they were on their championship run, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen literally arguing hardcore. You miss your assignment on that. You got to step up. You got to make this play. No. And then Ray Allen just said, watch the tape. We'll see you in the film room. Go watch the tape. Like, that's what you want. You know why? Because that means they care. That means that they're upset that somebody scored a bucket or somebody made a play or that somebody's not doing their job. I don't have a problem with that. And all of a sudden, right, because of an argument that Joe Cowley reported, Casey Johnson confirmed, right, all of a sudden the Bulls don't want to be on the same team anymore. They want to get to LA. They want to and it's the marketing tactic that comes with the game, bro. That's all it is. And here's the best part. I did Locked On NBA with Andy from Locked On Lakers, right? And I was like, what are you sending AK? Because he probably doesn't want the 2027 and 2029 first round pick. And he was like, then nothing. So what is this deal that's getting guys out of Chicago to LA?
There is none. It's not happening. And it's just,
right. We're gonna say this, and then DeMar will be traded tomorrow.
Bro, it is what it is. But it won't be LA. Like, it'll be like, the Sacramento Kings have traded for DeMar DeRozan, and it would be like, wait a second, wait, what?
It's not a bad team, though. It's not a bad team.
That's not a bad team. All that aside, I don't even remember my train of thought now, because now I'm thinking about DeMar playing with De'Aaron Fox. But with that being said,
not a bad team.
With that being said, man, women always say, look at the biggest gossiper you know, and I bet you it's a man. if that man is a sports fan, multiply that times 100. As sports fans, we know we be gossiping, bro.
Oh yeah, we come up with a take, bro, and we stick to it. And
Oh,
be like,
for
hey,
sure.
and then we try to spread it as far and wide as we can, for sure. And it's I get it, right? I get that it's the business of the game. I get that it really is just like sports talk in general, right? And it's your opinion. And I think here's the thing, right? There's so many things in this game that are formulated as opinion that are just taken as fact.
Yeah.
And that's the part that you got to be careful on, especially doing like we do Locked On Bulls. We do our own personal shows. We go on these radio shows, different things like that, right? Like I make sure if it's my opinion, I say I think or I believe, right? Because then it's like, no, this is what I believe. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but this is what I believe could happen. And people will take that and just run with it and be like, oh, Sham said this. It must be true. And it's like, yeah, but this is also Sham's opinion on where the state of this team could be at.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what
like
I
people
mean?
forget that even though people get this clout behind them and they get to the certain level, that they're still sports fan as well. And they still sometimes just say, hey, here's what I think may happen. And then that gets taken as, oh, this clearly must be what these teams are doing. And that's not always the case.
And we never call them out when they're wrong either. I mean, they be wrong sometimes. Hey, man, before we get into this final topic, we do got to update y'all. We got a Lonzo Ball update, y'all. Kind of. It's a pretty good update. Pretty good update. I don't know. But before we do that, man, we do got to tell you guys about betonline.net. Hey, BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there. From the NFL to college bowl season, NBA, World Cup action that is finally passed. We got to update this read. We got it all here at betonline.net. If you love sports podcasts, you can even find those on BetOnline as well. They're the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, it's where the game starts.
All right, Pat. Last topic of the day. We have an update from Lonzo Ball. And a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and play that clip. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the music right on down.
Rehab process. Still rehabbing. Like I said, it's been a crazy journey, crazy. Everything is just trying to get back on the court. And unfortunately, I'm not there yet, but we're still working every day.
Do you have an idea that you might be getting closer? Like, do you have a sense of where you're at, or is it just kind of still?
Just day by day. I'm trying to remain positive and just keep getting better. Even it's an inch better every day. Just trying to move backwards.
Just one more on that. We talked to beginning of the season. It was the day-to-day tasks, like going upstairs, things like that. Has that gotten better for you, even though you're not doing the basketball
for sure.
activities?
These last couple of weeks, I'm finally seeing some improvement, which is nice to see. It's still not, obviously where I want to be, but it's definitely, positive light at the end of the tunnel.
And then what has this season been like for you? Obviously some ups and downs, but some ups lately. Win last night. What has it been like for you watching it as you're trying to get back?
It's really, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me. It's very hard for me. I mean, I think we have a great team, and I know the things I can do to help the team out, but unfortunately, I'm not on the court right now, and I feel like, we're all feeling it.
Who have been some of those people that you sort of leaned on during this time to help you?
My family, my friends, and my teammates are still amazing. I mean, I'm not on the court with them, but it's not like we're missing any beats. Just from my point of view, I would, love to be out there with them, in the battle every night. But the personalities that we have on the team, the staff, and obviously my close friends and family, everybody, I got with me on my side. So as far as the mental thing, I'm fine. I just want to get out there and play.
Billy mentioned that you've been doing some spot shooting recently. Just what it means to get that basketball back.
Yeah, finally got to touch the ball. I mean, feel like I ain't played in so long. The shot's not going nowhere, so now it's just about getting the legs right.
What I love to see from Lonzo Ball there, outside of whenever he's returning back to basketball, his energy is so much different than that clip we saw. What was that, right outside of training camp, when he did explain how he's having difficulty, it's affecting his day-to-day life, when he said he couldn't even walk up steps. Like, seeing Lonzo at that video to this video is almost day and night, and I'm glad that he's making some progress. Still, I don't take from this that he's coming back anytime soon this season. Again, we'll see if he's making considerable progress in the last 2 weeks. Maybe he starts hitting some more milestones or whatever, but I'm just glad that it seems like he's in better spirits. That's what I take away from that.
I mean, I don't know how quick the ramp up process is going to be here. And I figure at this point, right, they're going to take their time as much as possible. But this was a pretty quick jump from like he can't run, jump, or cut to, hey, I'm feeling good going up the stairs. I'm back on the court. I'm shooting a basketball.
Well, he couldn't run, jump, or cut for 2 months. So, I mean.
Well, yeah, but going from that to just jumping back on the court and shooting the ball, not to say like he's jumping up and down on the knee. He's probably just doing some stationary shots, free throws, stuff like that. But I mean, right, like I feel like that was actually a pretty significant update. Now again, right, like I don't expect him to be back this season. I told y'all this at the beginning of this season. I didn't expect Lonzo Ball to be back, right? And especially when they announced we expect Lonzo Ball to be fully recovered by 2023. And it's like, wait a minute, dog. Don't you you're not going to hit me with the old NBA exec lingo. But I'm glad to see Lonzo in good spirits. I'm glad to see him back. It was pretty cool. He was out there participating in the gift drive with fathers and families health and healthy communities. So shout out to Lonzo for just being out in the community as well, man. And listen, I mean, like, you got to feel like he's in a better position than he once was because of things like that, right? He's out in the community. He's out in the public, right? I feel like he was a lot more secluded when he was dealing with and maybe going through, right, like getting the news that you got to have surgery again.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good to have him doing these things. Like I said, it's still going to be, to me, it's unlikely that he does play this season. And I said it before, maybe that's just me trying to safeguard myself from having any expectations of the otherwise. If he does come back, like, let me ask you this. Is there any point, if they say he's ready to go and it's the end of April, do you still want to see Lonzo Ball come back to get some games in before the end of next season? Or at that point, would you rather say, no, let's go ahead and just wait, training camp, we'll see him in the preseason next year? How do you feel about that?
Bring him back. Okay. I want to bring him back because you want to get him the reps. You want to get him the run. You want him to start moving, right? You want him to get that rust off and get some in-game action. I'm not saying send him out there and play him 32 minutes, right? Like, the good thing is we don't have Thibs as our head coach. You know what I mean? Like, Derrick Rose came back off his second knee injury, and Thibs was like, all right, 38, let's go. Yeah, I mean, like
you back, right? You healthy? And then people wonder why Derrick Rose was slow to come back initially from that ACL injury, because he knew the moment Tibbs could see the white in his eyes, he was playing 38 minutes.
Hey, look, I don't know about that because he kept going with Tibbs, bro. It's like an abusive relationship, bro. He just kept going back, bro. Hey, you ain't got to. It's okay, Derrick.
Because you can go to that point, when he kept coming back, though, that's because he knew that no matter what, Tibbs was going to play. See, at that point, he wanted to come back because he knew Tibbs was going to
get the minutes. He knew Tibbs was going to put him out there 38 minutes. Oh, man, when he scored 50 in Minnesota, I cried. Don't worry about that. But, yeah, I'm excited about it. I would love to see Lonzo get some reps this year. I mean, honestly, right, like, here's the thing. I still expect this Bulls team to make the playoffs. I don't expect us to be outside the playoffs unless we make drastic changes. And if Lonzo Ball is coming back, right? Like, am I mistaken on it? Lonzo has 0 playoff experience, don't he?
Yeah.
I'd like to see him get some of that playoff experience. And whether it's play-in experience, whether it's playoff experience, I'm still leaning more towards playoff. I think the Bulls do have a run in them at some point this season. Hopefully, we're gonna get into that coming now, right? Like, hey, listen, this was the weird part is, right? Like, technically, if we went on a run now, we'd be heading towards the turning point when things started to go down for the Bulls last year, because
it literally flop of last season is what we could be in store for.
It literally was the back-to-back game winners. I think then we got into the hard part of our schedule. We lost to every good team, and Zach LaVine came back, and we went to All-Star break, and we won a little bit, but not enough, and then we kept losing.
Bro, didn't we only get like 7 wins after the All-Star break or something?
Yeah, I think we only 7 wins. Yeah, Ringo predicted that pretty well. I thought he was just being a D-bag too, and he was pretty. I got to go back. I keep saying I got to go back and find the clip every time we talk about it. It was impressive. He's like, I don't see y'all winning that. I don't see y'all winning that. I don't see y'all winning that. I was like, bro, you tweaking out here, bro. You got the Bulls winning 7 games. He was like, we'll see.
That's crazy. Well, Ringo low key do be prophesizing though, bro.
Ringo got a little prophet game in him. He be on point with it. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Like, it be sounding crazy in the moment, but then like NBA execs must just think like Ringo, because they just be like, hey, what if we traded half our team for this guy? And that would be the move. Like Ringo was the first one. Like, nah, Philly gonna trade for James Harden. I was like, bro, why? Why would they give up the team they have? He's like, they will. Don't worry. But no, it's good. It'll be good to get Lonzo back and hopefully in some playoff situation. I think that'll be the. That'll be hopefully the beginning. Because right now, before we get out of here, are we to the point where it's a bad signing? Like for me, I look at this and I'm like, bro, he's gonna miss another season. At a minimum, I don't expect him back until April. That means he's missed a season and a half.
I wouldn't be able to say. If he's back this April, it's not a season and a half. That's just a full season.
He missed half of last season, and he would have missed all of this season except like going into the playoffs.
True. It's still not a season and a half. It's still more like a season and some change. But
he literally played 32 games last season. There's 82 games, so he missed 50.
He missed 50.
Then he would have missed an entire 80-something games.
But that's what he's not going to miss. Now, if he comes back,
you saying beginning of April? You saying beginning of April?
Yeah.
That's still only like 8 games.
That's still not a full season.
That's 122 games he would have missed.
Bro, here you go with that damn awkward ass laugh.
How you mad about my laugh? Just because I be right, bro.
I'm gonna record it. But I guess we'll see when it comes to Lonzo, bro. I hope he just comes back this season.
That's what it is. He mad. He don't want to say it's a bad signing, but he mad about it.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Like I've said it before. I'm if he misses this full season, but then he's healthy from this point out, it's not a bad signing to me. If what he's throwing on the court, if he's healthy all of next season, he'll have a full season next season and another full season after that still left on his contract. To me, that's not a bad sign. If he gives you at that point, it'd be 2.75 seasons. That's the math's a little rough. 2.33 seasons at that point. I'm not mad at that. I don't say that's a bad signing, depending on what he gives you on the court.
Out of 4?
I'm not saying it's a bad signing. Depending on how the play on the court is, I'm not.
Right. Same play. Same play that he gave us.
Same play that he gave us? No, that's not a bad signing. Right. It's not a bad sign. They may have spent a little bit too much on him, but it's not a bad signing.
What I will say is I think
Jabari Parker was a bad signing.
Well, Jabari Parker was pointless. Jabari, man, I was so excited about that too. I was like, he's gonna have a resurgence to his career now that he's back home. I was so excited.
I bought into that so much, bro. And I look back at me now like, you naive, dumb bastard. The man in his opening press conference says, they don't pay me to play defense. That should have been a red flag, right?
Hey, I'd have been cool with it, bro. Legit. But the problem was they was paying you to not play offense as well. Like he was doing you got to do one or the other. You know what I mean? Like you got to do Jabari Parker. The wild part is the only Jabari Parker play I remember is he was having a good game. I want to say it was versus Philly, and he got like a game-saving block. And I was like, and they say he don't play defense, and he doesn't.
Were you live calling in?
No.
I was about to say, I got to go to the archive and find that one.
No.
Oh, man. But that's it for today, bro. Go ahead and send us home, brother.
Hey, man, follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. You can hear about more of the beef that's going on in Chicago Bulls Nation, and now follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls. Just catching strays out here.
You can follow me at CEO Haize. That's CEO Haize. We want to thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, go and check on Locked On Sports Today, where Peter Bukowski brings you the biggest stories from around sports world in 20 minutes. Get the analysis and opinions before anyone else with our local and national experts and insiders. Locked On Sports Today podcast available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls. We out this mug. Peace, y'all.
Peace.